If you do the Trump method, you go on a podcast and you have long form debates, great. If you do the Kamala approach, or you just have like a 15-minute interview and it's all hand-picked questions, doesn't go so great. I know Oompaville has a fantastic YouTube channel, but I didn't want us to sit here and do like a reaction piece to everything that whole entire interview, right? So we're just gonna go through here and listen to this thread. But apparently, Dogpack, aka Rat Pack 420, is gonna be sued by MrBeast.
Are you gonna sue Dogpack?
Look at the. He's like,
Well, you know, there's tons of examples
Well, you know,
of him intentionally manipulating things to not be true and posting it online. Tons and tons and tons of that. Soggy has basically an hour and 27-minute video, and
kind of
an hour
verified
of it is
number
just
one.
flat out proving manipulation and lies, and caused a lot of harm to my businesses. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. And don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing so, you know, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why.
You say, hey, if we're not gonna have, if I'm losing this $1 million deal, can you prove it in writing that it's because of Rat Pack 420 over here? Thank you. No for a reason. We're just gonna have to, you know, just CYA, baby, CYA.
So, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Like, I don't want to be put in this situation, but
That's probably true.
probably gonna have to.
Oh,
I mean, it's just. I mean, what do you do if someone's just spreading misinformation about you?
no, in all honesty, Jimmy probably does feel like doesn't want to do this. It's a headache. He'd probably rather focus his time on making videos. He has other shit that he'd rather prioritize. But this guy is over here being a nutcase that he lost his job, probably wasn't very good at his job, was too disruptive, wanted too much, and was not doing enough, maybe not there long enough. A lot of different reasons. Doesn't matter the reason. But he's no longer with the company. Now he's just spreading all of those crazy lies. It's been proven that he doesn't have lies. So what does he has to do? You can't just let this. You can't let the dog keep barking. Sometimes you got to bring it around back.
And, you know, just causing harm to your business and like getting it to the point where you might have to potentially fire people because it's costing so much revenue. It's like, it's not fair to the people in my companies. You know what I mean? It's just sad, you know. It's not a thing I take joy in, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so yes.
They're not done drafting it up, but once they're done,
They're not done drafting it up. Not only is it a yes, it's a work in progress.
more than likely, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
I mean,
What's up, Pep?
every law firm I've talked to, they're like, this would be the easiest win they've ever seen in their life. I mean, it's like crazy. I had one tell me like you could chop up all the evidence into like sue 3 separate times and win all 3 cases because you'd have enough for each. Like one person I was talking to, he's won like 67 out of his last 70 cases, and he's like, this would be literally the easiest case I've ever done. Like it's because there's just so much blatant, you know, misinformation and lies spread. Like, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just
If Dogpack, whatever his name is, Dogpack 404, if he put out 100 allegations, 98% of them were false. They were proven false. 2 of them may have been true, but since 98 of them are false, the 2 that were probably true, not gonna get swept under the rug and move past it.
go watch Sagi's video. Go look at his Twitter where he's redacted multiple ones of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
And if some people would be like, yo, if someone's gonna be putting like disinformation on you, don't you want to be online like kind of defending yourself immediately? MrBeast has a whole legal team, and apparently they had some recommendations for him.
And part of that investigation is they recommended that I not talk about drama or really do anything online because it might influence, you know, witnesses or any people they might interview. Or
This is true. Like, if he starts speaking online, people are going to, with his following and who MrBeast is, it'll definitely skew the lens, and people are going to come out of the woodworks to try to defend something that they might not actually have any knowledge of, or vice versa.
ex-employees. So it's a little unfortunate because I told them, okay, I'll wait till the investigation is over. And I believe that was literally like a week before the Dogpack video came out. And then, truthfully, just in transparency, I've never done one of these like big investigations before. And in my head, it was going to last like 2 or 3 weeks. It ended up taking a couple months. Apparently, combing through all.
Damn. Couple weeks to a few months. Everything takes way longer than you think it should. But I've never been through a big legal case like this. Thank God. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Hopefully I never have to. But very
The
interesting.
documents and doing all the interviews and everything just took way longer than I thought because I've never had to bring in a top tier law firm and a former federal prosecutor and let him, do this really big thing.
Damn.
And so that kind of concluded a couple weeks ago when I put out the tweet of the follow up.
Yeah.
Like that was the day I got the conclusion of it. And I was like, okay, in transparency, I'll throw this out. So up until that point, it was, I had told Quinn Emanuel that, to protect the integrity, I wouldn't do anything or engage in any of this drama. And
Wow. And what's more, MrBeast probably has things, or Jimmy, he probably has things that he would rather focus on than this crazy nonsense.
And then after that, yeah, like you said, a lot of stuff had come out between when the investigation started and when it ended. And I was just kind of like, whoa, I don't really know how to like hit this stuff. And I made like a little response video, but it's just kind of not my style, where I just kind of like put a lot of the information that I assume we're going to talk about here out. And it just felt weird. Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I've never been in a situation where people have thrown this much stuff at me, and I definitely could have handled it better. Like, I probably should have, like, the second I could have talked, like, I don't remember the exact date, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we put that report out, probably should have done something like this right then. If I could go back in time, I would. And yeah, that's kind of like the brain dump, and then here I am.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask. You answered it towards the end, but like, do you regret that? Obviously.
Yeah. If I could go back in time, I would do what we're doing here, because I assume this is like the correct format. It's gonna be a little bit more free flowing and natural, and I wouldn't have wasted so much time like trying to do a response. It's just not my thing. I like so much better. Or I'm assuming. I mean, we just started, but I think I'm gonna like so much better being asked the questions and answer it instead of just like sitting in a chair like this answering it. It just feels a little more natural.
Definitely going to be a more authentic approach. And in today's day and age, if you're not coming out and responding to an allegation on a long form and you're trying to make like this over the top edited video, yeah, it's just, it comes out way more authentic. If you do the Trump method, you go on a podcast and you have long form debates, great. If you do the Kamala approach, or you just have like a 15-minute interview and it's all hand-picked questions, it doesn't go so great.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've done that. We've done lots of BTS.
So, why do you choose to use it?
Good question. And yes, I do think rampant use of CGI can undermine it, and I try to do my best to be transparent. Did you ever see So Crispy's video where they showed the behind the scenes of our Squid Game video?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so we've done that. We've done lots of BTS videos on them, and we've done other BTS videos. So I try to show it transparently, but let me think about it. I mean, honestly, the truth is, like, obviously there are channels like Corridor Digital and stuff like that, but can you really think of any like entertainment channels like mine that really do this, like even have the budgets to kind of do this kind of stuff? It's something I've always thought a lot about, because like we're really pushing boundaries, and like I want to like keep leveling things up, and I think that's a cool way to do it. But it's not like there's some like playbook on how to like incorporate it, right? Because no one else really does it. Like something I was
In terms of like CGI. Man, if we're looking at post-production and CGI, we might want to look at some of this Indian content. Kerry Minati's whole crew was impressive as hell. I think even Jimmy, when he went over to India and saw his crew and the different levels that Kerry has, I think Jimmy was taking notes.
thinking about is like also we rarely use it. Like, I mean, maybe like 0.5%, 0.1% of my shots. Like if we have like
I like the additional
a
context shit up,
background that
like showing
doesn't
up
look
below.
too cool. Like it's just like black, but it looks a little off. We'll just like darken it out in post. Like that's like majority of what we do, or sometimes we'll extend a set. But I was thinking like when we do, because bro, we pour millions of dollars into these videos. We build massive sets. Like we go through so much links to make these huge videos, and the last thing I want is people to be like questioning whether or not things are CGI. I mean, like the sets we build are fucking crazy, man. Like it's wild. Like you should come see the like.
In all fairness, I think MrBeast has said a couple different things here. I feel like he does put a lot of time and money into building some sets, right? Like the sets production can cost an insane amount. And then in post-production, sometimes you do need to go in there and tweak a little thing, some lighting and whatnot. And technically that's CGI when you're going in there and doing stuff in the post-production. But I don't know if a lot of his shit is CGI'd up. I don't know.
I mean, sometimes we spend 100 days just literally building one room for one shot of one video.
That's insane.
So yeah, I was thinking like maybe just potentially, I don't know, this is the first time I'm saying it publicly, like time stamping in the description when we do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, or like having some like gimmicky thing where like whenever we do, we like put like a little beast logo on it, so it's like a thing that if people wanted to identify, they could. I mean, I'm down to figure something out. I mean, we just don't really use it that much. It's just like a thing few and far between. But what I really don't want is people to not be able to trust my videos just because occasionally I want to make a wall blacker or like I want to extend a set a little bit just to make it look cooler and like you feel in tune with it. Because what we do on its own.
I mean, that's super fair. Is that not like I feel like all of these allegations towards MrBeast, now that we know that majority of them are false, except for the Ava Tyson stuff, but that's not a MrBeast kind of thing. That was an Ava Tyson kind of thing. But yeah, no, very interesting.